EV Comply, simplifying your charge point installations.
Hello, you're listening to the latest EV podcast roundup brought to you directly by EV Comply. It's Friday the 29th of January. I'm currently joined with Trevor Palmer, who is director of EV Blogs, who has kindly joined us on the podcast today. Hey Trevor.
Hi Chelsea, thanks for having us on.
So EV Blogs was born from a genuine problem that you were having when, with your other business, you were installing charge points, and you found that obviously the foundation was quite important, and you then went on to obviously think of the idea of EV Blocks. So tell me a bit more about that.
Sure, so one of the challenges with doing or making your own bases on site is you're shipping wood, screws, materials and the concrete and cement to site to produce your base. Once the base is finished, all that wood that's been transported to site, the labour time's gone into making the base, it all goes in a skip. And that's just, great, wood is sustainable material, but it's not a sustainable process. Equally, others will say, well, concrete's not very sustainable, Trev. Well, you're right, but there's a little bit less concrete in our bases than what you may build on site. And we're looking at other materials and other opportunities that we think will help install it in the future. One of the innovations that we've come up with just recently is to have the impact protection on the blocks as well. So not only you've got a uniform finish with the block, your pedestal goes on top, you also got your impact protection that mounts to the block as well, reducing the need for wheel stops, which some people are saying is a trip hazard now. And others are not concreting in bollards because, again, you've got drying times to contend with, non-uniform finish on sites. So it's kind of like trying to make EV Blocks a one-stop shop for your pedestal base. And again, make it more sustainable, speed. There's going to be a massive amount of EV chargers that need to be installed. Let's do it quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just get it done. I think a lot of people would like that ethos. Now, I particularly like the fact that obviously you're not waiting on drying time of concrete, particularly when it's weather permitted. Here in the UK, weather is sadly never on our side. And I'm sure that alone will shave a lot of time off of a job. So a lot of fitters will be pleased to hear that for sure. Now, with your other company, you have installed over 400 charge points. Are there any kind of patterns or themes that you've noticed when installing?
So our specialist subject really has become car showrooms and car dealerships. We've done probably well over 150 car showrooms up and down the UK. And that's been a really interesting process. Now we're seeing like a transition in customer base to logistics and final destination. For example, we've got one client now who's looking at 15 chargers on their site, so they can charge 15 vans overnight. They come in the morning and go out and deliver their final drop. So I think public's perception of electric vehicles is changing, and it's changing quicker than what people are expecting. You only got to look at like Tesla's stock prices going exponential. EV purchases both in UK and Europe again is going exponential. They're talking about battery range in vehicles taking you further with less charging time, and that's going to be really interesting. So we're also seeing more demand for DC chargers in some places as well, just to achieve these fast charging times that are now being talked about in the industry, and that will become the norm, and will lead people on to, well, I'm going to have an electric car for the next car because it's no-brainer.
I agree. I think it's becoming massively popular, and I think a lot of people are willing to adapt, like you say, a lot quicker than we all once thought, which is great stuff. I mean, what an exciting time to be a part of the EV industry. And what I love most at the moment is the fact that it's a bit of a level playing field. We've all got 24 hours in the day, and it's not to say that your brands that you would expect are going to come out on top. I think there's a lot of smaller businesses working very hard and, working very fast as well. And I do think it's a bit of a level playing field. I think it's going to be fun to see who comes out on top.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. And like you say, everyone's got the same amount of hours in the day. We're in the EV Blocks, we're seeing 24 hours saved on each job. We're not creating things. Every base, it comes straight off the pallet, straight into where you're digging your hole, and you're away. Really a bit of a game changer for us as an installer once we got into it.
So for anyone who's listened to this podcast and they obviously want to find out more, how are they best to kind of look you guys up?
So you can find us on the internet on evblocks.com. You can also find videos both on YouTube. If you just type in EV Blocks, the eFix YouTube channel as well, where the guys are reviewing our products. We're due to release 2 or 3 more videos over the next couple of months, just introducing the EV bollards. We're also doing a non-slip surface on the top so you can install the block for future, and you've got all the ducting in place, all your bases there. You can walk over the top, you can have a blank plate, and it's got a non-slip surface guaranteed for 5 years.
Great stuff. Well, you are absolutely onto something here, and from everybody here at EV Comply, we wish you all the luck with the business, not that you need it. Trevor Palmer, Director of EV Blocks, thank you for joining us on the podcast today.
Brilliant. Thanks, Chelsea.
A massive thank you to our special guest this week, Trevor Palmer, Director of EV Blocks. Now remember, if you too would like to get involved with our podcast, you can. Just go to our website, it's ev-comply.com, and get in touch there. We would love to hear from you. And from everybody here at EV Comply, you have a great weekend.